What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to a new video, Wizland with Wiz. Happy to be with you guys today. So today we're going to be talking about perspective. If you're watching this video, happy Thanksgiving. If you're watching it on the day that it actually is being posted, happy Thanksgiving. I hope that this year was good for you. I hope that next year is even better. But to be honest with you guys, when it comes to the holidays, when it comes to Thanksgiving, when it comes to Christmas, New Year's, it is my favorite time of the year just because the aspect of family. Also, the weather here in Houston actually gets a little bit cooler, and it just gives me that motivation and kind of that reset of starting a new year. And I know a lot of people think about it in that way, but the last 2 to 3 years they become very much of kind of a reset for me, because I am allowing and embracing the entire concept of these holidays, and now I'm allowing that energy that is built with family members and all of that to kind of catapult me to the next year. Last year it wasn't as good because we had my family were going through COVID, but this year, hopefully, knock on wood, I mean, hopefully it's not there. We don't experience COVID and nothing like that, so we should be in a good place. So having said that, perspective. Perspective is one of the most important things that you have to learn how to develop if you want to have a successful business, and not only that, if you want to be a better man. For me, it's been a struggle, to be honest with you guys. A struggle that I actually gotten better at, because perspective, I've always had that personal thought that either you're going to be good or you're going to be bad, and always there's always an in between. So I'm never like completely one-sided on anything. But you have to understand that there is a lot of people out there that are always one-sided. And if you're one of those people that always thinks negative, or you're one of those people that always thinks positive, you also have to understand that perspective is the main thing you have to focus on. You have to be able to put yourself in someone else's shoes and be able to kind of understand what they're going through. And also in that same thing, that just because you're doing that doesn't necessarily mean that you will know how that person feels, because there's no way you can replicate their feeling, because you have not been through whatever it is that they're trying to share with you. And that's one of the main things that you can kind of do to get better in perspective. But the one thing that I wanted to share is how being grateful can change your entire mindset and can actually make you develop perspective. When you start thinking about the world in general, everything, and I'm talking about, and this is the thing that most of us do not think, and some of us think are a little bit of cynics about this, because we're like, we're not there, so it doesn't really matter to us. But you have to take yourself and be realistic, and you have to be able to see what reality is, right? So reality is, yeah, we might not live in a third world country, but if you're an immigrant, if you're a first generation immigrant, you're maybe a couple years from being in that place. At least for me, I come from immigrant parents. I'm a first generation guy, so it's just like I kind of have that empathy to understand that not everyone is I don't want to say lucky, but fortunate enough to be in the position that I am currently in, because some people from third world countries wish they were in the United States. Other people, that the fact is that we as US citizens, we have taken for granted the beauty of what this country is. We've been, for the latest, since I've been born, to be honest with you, and I was born in the 90s. Since the 90s, I don't think this country has really struggled at all, because we've gotten, our entire country has developed within the technology. We haven't really had any wars, other than COVID, obviously, but and the 9/11 situation. But other than those big things, and yeah, you can kind of debate the 08 crash, financial crash. I didn't really even know what was going on with that, because nobody really talked about that in my family. I didn't even know that existed until I got older, and everyone said that the 08 crash was a big thing, but I didn't really see that affecting us in any way. But other than that, it's just like we haven't really gone through struggle. And when you don't go through struggle for a long time, and as fucked up as it might sound, the people that are getting introduced into the world, the people that are born, the younger kids, the people that have never really experienced struggle, we actually end up caring about things that really don't matter. Like sometimes, we become so superficial. We care about how we look. We care about what type of brand name we wear. We care about very materialistic stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. And to be honest with you, it's just part of the circumstances that we've been dealt as a country. And I'm grateful that I'm part of the United States, because I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. But you have to also put into consideration that you have to be grateful for even being alive. The truth is that people are born, people die, and you could have been one of those people that died today. But fortunate enough, you're not. And I think a lot of people don't even put that into their minds, because we've gotten so used to the aspect that things will not change. Things don't change that way. That things, for whatever reason, we come to the perception that we're invincible when we know we're not invincible. Anything can happen to us at any point in time, and that will be the end of our current life in Earth. So being grateful is going to be the best thing that you can do in order for you to become and develop your perspective. It's going to allow you to think about different things to maybe people that are not in the same scenario you are. One of the biggest things that I notice is and this is the main reason I focus on health, because health is the main thing in life. I don't care what anyone says, but health is the main thing. And the only way that you can be healthy, outside of your genes or whatever the case is, you don't have control of what could happen because of your genetic makeup, but you can definitely take control in the amount of exercise you do, what type of food you eat, the amount of food you eat, and the alcohol intake you take, like the amount of alcohol you drink, the drugs you do or you do not do. You have control over all of that. But the thing is that a lot of people don't even think about it in terms of that, because they're okay in the now. So they're not thinking that the things that they're doing or the things that we might be doing at the moment are going to affect us in 5-10 years from now. So my main thing with you guys is, like, if you want to become successful, if you want to get better, you want to progress in life, in whatever thing that you're trying to do, if you're trying to do that, you have to be able to be grateful for the things that you currently have, because that is where you're starting from. But that is going to allow you to keep moving forward without losing that gratitude for where you started from. And I think that's one of the main important things that you have to keep in the back in your mind, that always stay grounded. Because I think that a lot of people, once they get to a certain level, and I know it's like you get to a certain level due to the amount of work you make, due to the amount of hustle that you put into the years of work that you've made. But some people don't change. Some people stay the same, in the sense that they stay grounded to the earth, and they understand that it was not given. They understand that it was due to their initial circumstances, that they wanted to push forward or they wanted to become better, and they all are always grateful for those experiences. And you have to do the same for you. Like, if you're going through pain, if you're going through shit, if you're going through a breakup, if you're going through a loss with a family member, if you're going through a failure, whatever failure you might be going through right now, at that very moment, it might not be the best thing that occurred to you, but it is a stepping stone for you to keep moving forward. And even though you cannot be grateful about pain and things like that, sometimes there's a reason those things happen to us. And you have to understand that when those things happen to us and you're able to live through them, you might not be able to understand why that occurred at that very moment, but you're going to eventually be grateful for even the moments before that moment, because you have to be grateful. If you're going through something happy, if you're going through a good moment in time. I think that this is one of the biggest flaws that our schools don't do, and something that even our families doesn't really understand, how to share that with their child or with their children or whatever the case might be, is how to be grateful. The thing is that you have to be grateful just for being alive, just for being able to breathe. Because when you don't have any fucking health, when you're in the bed laying down, not being able to move. For me, I had asthma when I was young. I knew that experience of feeling like shit, not being able to breathe, having those asthma attacks where I couldn't breathe at all, and then it had to put the inhaler on, and put a mask on my face to kind of get me back to normal. Like I had to like, I went through that shit when, like from 5 years old to like the age of 10, 11, 12 years old. And I really did struggle with that shit, because also our environment triggered those asthma attacks, because we used to live in a poor apartment filled with roaches and filled with rats and all that shit. So that kind of did trigger it. And that's just reality of life. But also, now that I'm older, I'm grateful for those experiences, because I was able to make it through out of it. And I do see how bad things can be when you're starting from zero, when you're literally starting from the bottom up. And that's one of the things you have to understand. Like, if you want to become successful, being grateful and having perspective are going to be the main things that will allow you to keep improving and keep getting better, and eventually get into the place you want to be. So yeah, guys, I wanted to share that message with you today, because I do believe it's very important. How to develop perspective is just by being grateful. The more grateful you are for everything you have in life, and I'm talking about the smallest thing. Like, for example, like somebody in your city being in a car crash, it could have been you, so you have to be grateful for just the fact. I mean, the most important is for having your health, and then just having the family members around you, because if you have that, you're set, man. You have everything you need in order for you to continue to pursue your things. When everything is in those, and that's the thing, is like, we don't realize that when we have our family good, we don't realize when we have food on our table, we don't realize that when we have a roof over our head, or where we can actually pay our bills and all that shit, that's being taken care of. Now you can think about different things. Now you can think about getting you a coffee from Starbucks. Now you can think about getting fast food. Now you can think about different things. But if those things weren't set, if a family member was sick, if your kid was sick, if you were sick, if your wife is sick, if your girlfriend, boyfriend is sick, if your mom or dad is sick, like, you're worried about these things. But at that moment, but when everything is good, we don't think about how grateful we are for having all these things in a good place. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys have a good day, and I hope you guys enjoy Thanksgiving with your family. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.